Well, hi everyone, it's Kerry from Home Business with Gerard and Kerry.com, and with me I have my good friend James Williams.
Hello.
Who, week before last, saved my life and gave me a whole heap of posts that you guys have read. And what we wanted to do today was, I just wanted to speak to James about those posts, so that you guys get maybe a better understanding of what James was talking about. So James,
I feel better now because I actually thought that might have been, I need to speak to him because they really weren't that good.
They were very good.
Okay.
It's just that I think that people, might want a little bit more understanding of what we talked about. So the first one that was brilliant, I thought, was Outbrain. What is Outbrain?
Well, Outbrain's a really good solution that allows you to keep people on your website longer by presenting them articles that relate to the one that you've just been reading. So it's a really good system, and in this particular article what I do is I show people how to install Outbrain, so how to register on their website, how to install the plugin in WordPress, and how to get that working.
Oh right, well I actually went in and did it, and I found it really easy to do, so you guys get in and have a go too.
I'm just wondering if you've noticed any difference in your stats at this stage and how long people are staying on your site.
I haven't really gone back in and had a look at it. I'm very bad. I will do that though, I promise, this week, and I'll put something up in the post for you guys, okay?
Excellent.
The next one was the one that I was really interested in, was podcasting. I'm hearing a lot of marketers talking about podcasting and how they're engaging their audience with podcasts. But I want to know why.
Well, podcasts are sort of one of those things, it's like time-shifted audio. It's got two benefits. One is you can download audio so you can listen to it when it's convenient for you. But the other part is its subscription. So the same thing that we use to allow people to subscribe to our blog posts, you're also subscribing to podcasts in the same way, and that's vitally important. So for an internet marketer, what it means is that they can not only put out audio, but instead of for someone to have to go to your website to get that audio and listen to it, they can actually subscribe to it using an RSS feed. And when you create a new episode on the podcast, it'll automatically download and they can get it into their player. Okay. But the other thing, and the focus of this particular angle, was about the great resources that are out there for people who run home businesses or internet marketers. And I've suggested 5 really great podcasts that you can start with from people who operate in the social media space and who understand things like copywriting and marketing. And so really you can take their podcasts and use them as a mentor to gain even more confidence in this space. And I think if you're anything like me, you're quite time poor, and I think the podcasts are great because you can listen in the car, you can listen when you're going to pick up the kids from school, when you're cooking dinner, and you don't have to be sitting at a computer and you don't have to be watching something on television. And I tell you, for an internet marketer, I know I'm jumping around a little bit in concepts, but if you've ever thought about it, what are you doing when you put a set of headphones in, and how close is that audio to your brain? So it's a very intimate way of making a connection with your audience, and for any internet marketer, I think it's absolutely valuable. But first steps first, I'd say understand what podcasts are. Go and have a look at the article and download iTunes, start sampling some of the podcasts that are out there, and then find your niche and work out how to create podcasts for that niche. And maybe in future guest writing for you, if people are interested in podcasting and how to do it, then maybe I can write some pointers on where to find some good resources on how to create podcasts.
Great idea. I'll hold you to that.
Excellent.
Believe me. So keep tuned, guys. The other one that we had, which was my favourite, was the time management.
Yes, I think the article was called "How to Work Better by Thinking Less."
Yes, it was.
And it was an interesting one because it was the last time that we were together, and I was sitting down around a table with you having some lunch, and I go, "Kerry, my head hurts. It hurts. I can't seem to focus. I don't seem to have a plan. I can't sit down for 5 minutes and do anything." And as you know, we've been on holidays for a while. And I thought partly it was just because I couldn't get focused, but in reality, what it was is that there were so many things floating around in my head. And so you gave me some really good advice. You said, make a plan. You have to make a plan. So I do what I do best with all good advice, and I took it away and I slept on it. But then the next day I did get up and I started to make the plan. And my first step was to write a list of everything that I had to do. And I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote some more. And an hour later, I had a list of 120 things to do.
And you sent me a message.
And I sent you a text. I said, "You're not going to believe this, but there are 120 things floating around in my head."
And I'm still writing.
And I'm still writing. And I wrote for about 3 hours. But in that first hour, I was putting down a new thought or a new something to do every 30 seconds. So there was a lot of stuff floating around in my head. And what I realised, once I'd cleared my head, then my brain could relax and focus on the stuff that I really needed to do. And so I've kind of told that story and with some more detail.
Yeah.
And I think it was just a real insight for me on how if we're not writing lists and we're not being structured in the way that we're working, our brain can get overwhelmed even if we don't know that we're overwhelmed, to the point that I was when I saw you last.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And it was great. It was a great article and great advice.
Oh, terrific.
Well, thank you very much, James.
You're welcome.
For sitting down and doing this interview with me. So, guys, just go back and have a look at the articles that James wrote for me, and he will be doing some more for me. So, stay tuned, and thanks for joining us. Bye.
Goodbye.